In this video, we will learn about the nested loop in Python programming language. So what is a nested loop? A loop within a loop is called nested loop. A loop may contain another loop in its body. This form of a loop is called nested loop. Let me show you a block diagram for that. Look at the black boundary. Suppose this is the outer loop. Within this outer loop, there is another loop written in blue color. So this is the body of the inner loop. The body of the outer loop may contain more than one inner loop along with some other codes. Since this inner loop is inside the outer loop, that's why we say it is an inner loop. Both the outer and inner loop may be for loop or while loop. In a nested loop, the inner loop must terminate before the outer loop. Let me show you how to write a nested loop in Python programming language. Let me take two for loop. For I in sequence, and inside this loop there is another loop, that is the j loop. This is for j in some sequence. The inner for loop is executed for each value of I. The variable I takes values from this sequence. Let us assume that the sequence written beside for I loop is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the inner loop is executed once for I equal to 1. That means for each value of I, j will complete its execution completely. Then the control will come out from the j loop, then again move back to the I loop again. Then I will take the second value from the sequence. By taking the second value from the sequence, again it will execute the j loop completely. While working with nested loop, you need to understand one thing, that is, the value of outer loop variable will change only after the inner loop is completely finished or interrupted. Let me show you by taking a complete example. Look, suppose here is a nested loop code. Look, in the outer loop, here it is written for I in range 1, 4. That means I will execute for 1, 2 and 3. As you all know that in range function, the control stops before the upper limit. Since here it is 4, so the I will be initialized with 1, 2 and 3. Here 1 is the starting value. Now within this for I loop, look, there is another for loop. So this is the for j loop, and it starts from 1 and ends up to I plus 1. Within this for j loop, a single line or a statement is written, print within parentheses j, that means j will be printed, and after that end equal to single quote open close. This end equal to single quote open close at the end to cause printing at same line. Now come out from the inner loop, that is from j loop. So there is a print statement. So this blank print statement is for a line break. That means after printing all the values of j side by side, the control needs to move to the next line, and for that I have written print first bracket open first bracket close. After that it will move to the next value of I. After taking the second value of I, again it will enter the j loop. For that, let me show you the dry run, and at the right hand side I will draw the output. Now this range function will generate 1, 2 and 3. So the first value of I will be 1. Now let me write down the value of I over here. So the value of I is 1. Now by taking I equal to 1, it will enter into the loop. Now the j loop will run. So j loop will run from 1 to 1 plus 1, that's mean up to 2. Since range function generate a sequence from starting position and just before the ending position, that's mean this time this range function will generate only 1 as a sequence. That's mean j will be initialized with 1, and within this inner loop j, it will print the value of j, that is 1 will be printed, and after that j loop will terminate. Now there are no more elements to fetch. This j loop will execute only for one time. Now the control will come out from the loop, that is the j loop. Now it will encounter this print first bracket open close. That's mean the control will move to the next line. Now again the control move back to the for I loop. This time the value of I will be 2. By taking I equal to 2, again it will enter into the loop. previously j loop has completed its execution, so again it will start from the beginning. Now let me erase all the previous value of j. Now this time I is 2, so this I plus 1 will now become 3, that is 2 plus 1 3. So j in range I comma 3, that's mean j will execute 2 times for j equal to 1 and then for j equal to 2. The first value of j is 1. So by taking j equal to 1, it will enter into the loop, and there is the print statement where the j has been printed, so the value of j will be printed. So again it will print 1 because this time the value of j is 1. Since there will be a one more execution for j, so the control will move back to the for j loop, and this time the value of j will be 2. So it will print j equal to 2 at the side of 1. Why? Because I have written end equal to single quote open close. So if you write end equal to single quote open close, the control will remain in the same line. Now that's all for the j loop. After 2 execution or iteration, j loop will terminate because it will not execute for j equal to 3. So let's come out from the j loop. Look at, there is a print blank print statement. That's mean the control will move to the next line. So this 1 2 is for I equal to 2. Now again move back to the for I loop line. This time the value of I will be 3. Let me erase again all the value of j. Now this time I is 3, so I plus 1 will be 4, and j loop will execute for j equal to 1, j equal to 2, and for j equal to 3. So the first value of j is 1. So by taking j equal to 1, it will enter into the loop, it will print the value of j, that is 1. So for I equal to 3, it will start printing from 1. There will be 2 more execution or iteration. Again the j loop will continue. For j equal to 2, again enter into the loop, it will print the value of j, that's mean 2. Again I am repeating, since end equal to single quote open close is written, that's why the control will be in the same line and the value will be printed side by side. Still there is another iteration for j. Move back to j. This time j will be 3. By taking j equal to 3, it will print the value of j, that is 3, beside these 2. Now there are no more iteration for the j loop. J loop completes its execution and the control will come out from this j loop. So there is a print statement, blank print statement. The control will move to the next line. Again the control will move back to the for I loop. Look, this time I also completed its iteration. Since the maximum upper limit for the range is given 4, so I loop will run for 1, 2, and 3. In the meantime, look, it has printed a pattern. It's a right angle triangle. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can generate any type of pattern by using this nested loop. Let me show you more examples. Suppose a pattern is given like this, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let me write down the program first. Look, in the first row there is single element. In the second row there are 2 elements. In the third row there are 3 elements. And in the fourth row there are 4 elements. So initially we are not considering what kind of elements are there. We are just only considering the number of elements in each row. In a pattern drawing program, generally outer loop represents row count and inner loop represents column count. That's mean I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4 represents the row count. Since I have written I for the row count, so I will be in the outer loop. Now what is about the inner loop? Let us consider j as my inner loop. So for I equal to 1, j will run only 1 time. For I equal to 2, j will run for the 2 times. For I equal to 3, j will run 3 times. For I equal to 4, j will run 4 times. So let me write down like this. For I in range 1, 5. Since I is running from 1 to 4, that's why I have written range 1, 5. Now within this for I loop, let me write down for j in range 1 comma I plus 1. This j loop depends on I. So whatever may be the I value, j will run from 1 to the corresponding I value. Now the question is, this time what I'm going to print over here, I or j? Suppose if I write j over here, and let me write down end equal to single quote open close, then as before let me write down the print statement, blank print statement. Let me run the program. Look what happened. It is coming 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. No, this is not my desired output. It is the output of the previous one. Now if I write I in place of j, you will get a different pattern. Obviously it is not the desired one. So it is 1 2 2 3 3 3 4 4 4 4. So this is not acceptable. So we cannot generate the given pattern by writing I or j. Look, here I is representing the row count and j is the number of elements in that row. That means j is counting the number of elements in that row. Neither I nor j are responsible for the magnitude or the value which are displayed in the output. As we are not getting the desired output by writing I and j over here, so we have to think about some other variable which will be incremented or decremented independently. So for that we require a count. Suppose let me write down this count as 1. So count has been initialized with 1. Now let me print this count over here, and within this inner loop, that is the j loop, let me increment the count by 1. Now if I run the program, here is our desired output 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it becomes clumsy. The digits are very close to each other. So give a space in between the single quote open close beside this end. So I am writing a space in between this quote. Let me save the program, run the program again. Look, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Let me show you the dry run. Suppose let me write count equal to 1 first over here. Now the initial value of I is 1. By taking 1, it will enter into the I loop, and then the inner loop j will run from 1 to 1 plus 1 2. That's mean it will execute for only one time. So j will execute for only one time for j equal to 1. So for j equal to 1, it will print count, and the value of count is 1. So it will print this one. At the next line, count will be incremented by 1, so the count will become 2. But this time j will not execute anymore, because for I equal to 1, j will execute only for one time, as I have explained this technique earlier. Now it will come out from j. There is a print, blank print statement. That means control will move to the next line. Again the control will move back to the for I loop. This time I will become 2, and by taking I equal to 2, the inner loop j will execute 2 times, for j equal to 1 and for j equal to 2. When j equal to 1, the value of count will be printed. So this time the value of count is 2. So this 2 will be printed. After printing the value of count, that is 2, at the next line count will be incremented by 1. That's mean count will become 3. There will be another iteration for j equal to 2. Look, here I have written j equal to 2, and for j equal to 2, again the count will be printed. So this time the count is 3, so 3 will be printed at the side of this 2, because I have written end equal to single quote open close. After that, count will be again incremented by 1. That's mean it will become 4. But this time j has completed its execution. There are no more iteration for the j loop. It will come out from the loop. For the blank print statement, the control in the output will move to the next line. Then the program will proceed for I equal to 3. For I equal to 3, j will run from 1 and end up to 3. So j will be executed for j equal to 1, j equal to 2, and j equal to 3. For the 3 values of j, count will be printed 3 times, and it will keep on incrementing the value of count. So for j equal to 1, It will first print the value of 4, then it will increment the count value by 1, then it will print 5, then count will be incremented to 6, then it will print the 6. And at last, for I equal to 4, j will run both times, and 4 elements will be printed at the 4th row, which will be 7, 8, 9 and 10. So do the dry run for the last row of your own. I think it will be more clear if you do the dry run of your own. This is all for this video. I will upload more programs on patterns and different nested loop program in separate videos. If you have any problem, write it down in the comment box. I will try to reply you back as soon as possible. Thank you.